my goal is to make sure that we have enough put away that when I am elderly, my wife's able to go into a facility that is uh, somewhere where we're going to get the level of care that I feel like we deserve. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's one of the drivers for me to make sure that what I know based on what I saw, that doesn't happen to us. So my son doesn't have to see that and want to be able to do something and can't. Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 40. 40 weeks of consistency. I just like to give a shout out to myself, shout out to God for helping me to get to this point, man. Because again, when we started this thing, I didn't know exactly where it was going to go, what I was going to continue to talk about, but God's just been continue to add to me more things to talk about, more things to come up just in daily life. And before I get started, as always, I just like to say thank you to everybody who's liked, who shared, who subscribed, who's viewed the videos to this podcast, anybody who's offered any feedback, input of how we could get better. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you more than you know. So on this episode 40, we're going to go into some stuff that is probably going to get some people upset, probably going to get people just thinking about life. And anybody who's new to this podcast, I should have said earlier, is that this podcast is focused on obviously a wealth building journey. But in that journey, you are going to need a bunch of different things. You're going to need a mindset shift, health. We'll talk about finances, marriage. Again, mindset is huge, but anything that's going to make you a well-rounded person on your wealth building journey or on any journey that you're on to better yourself. So with today's topic, we're going to talk about what are you going to do about it? I was on my entrepreneurship call the other day, the morning meetup, talk about them all the time. This group has changed my life so much. Just being around a bunch of like-minded people who are trying to grow. We read books. We talk about business, just different strategies on how to get better, things of that nature. Strategies on how to get better as a person, trying to grow as a business person, as an entrepreneur. And this week, we had a speaker come on and talk about who are you trying to be? Or who are you trying to be remembered as? And one of the things that really stuck out to me is he talked about your grandkids, I'm sorry, remembering you as the person who set their family up to be, well off. And a lot of things get passed down to us as far as, hard work, maybe, saving, talking to your parents and things of that nature. But one of the things that stuck out to me was, who am I trying to be? And I'm asking myself this question, but you need to ask yourself this question as well. Who are you trying to be remembered as? And before we start that point, I think it's important to go back to remember who you were and where you came from. So for me specifically, I grew up in the A. Ardmore, Pennsylvania, not Atlanta. Nah. So I grew up in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. I went to Lower Merion High School. Um, so when people think about Ardmore, they think of the main line. It's a nice area, which it is now. When I grew up, not so much. I grew up during the crack era, and anybody who knows anything about the crack era knows that it decimates communities. It ruins communities. And I saw a lot of things. I saw poverty. I saw drugs. I saw alcohol. I saw just not good things. And seeing those things could have set me on a path one way or the other, just depending on where I was trying to go. So I talked about in the previous episode, what do you know? I knew that what I saw wasn't right. Drug addicts, alcoholism, poverty, and different things of that nature, and not specifically in my home. I'm just talking about that's what I see around me in my neighborhood, just because of the drug infestation. So what I knew was that's not what I wanted growing up. Didn't necessarily know how to go about not getting it, but as I grew from a boy into teenager into being a man, I knew that, and I talk about it all the time, that if you don't want to be a drug addict, then don't do drugs. If you don't want to be an alcoholic, then maybe you might want to slow down on the drinking. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but walk with me. Doing, go back. Growing up in Lower Merion High School, you see two sides of the fence, two sides of the spectrum. You see wealth when you go to school. You got kids who are getting cars given to them by their parents, and then you see struggle. So the good thing about where I grew up was I saw both sides of the spectrum, but I gravitated towards wanting more, as opposed to what I saw when I went back to my neighborhood. And again, it wasn't all bad, but seeing a lot of poverty can get you in the mindset of this is the way it's going to be. But it takes strength to live in something or be surrounded by something and know that there's something else out there for you, seeing that and then moving towards that, even though you don't have necessarily a game plan on how to get there. But I thank God that as I desired more for myself, God surrounded me with people and opportunities to go in alignment with where I was trying to go. And I think this is very relevant today because in talking to a lot of people because I do budget classes with people one-on-one. I help families, again, living paycheck to paycheck, live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. The people that I talk to, and some of the people that I talk to, the common theme is that they were never taught how to budget. I was never taught how to budget. But in order for you to get out of a situation that you're in, your desire has to be stronger than your feelings or what you see around you, if that makes sense. And I talk about it on previous episodes that reading books, turning off the negative TV that you're watching or radio that you're listening to is huge, because filling your mind with good things, filling your mind with things that are positive as opposed to negative based on the things that you're seeing, can help change that mindset and shift that mindset for you to show you that there are other things out there for you, and reading the things, listening to the good things, seeing the good things on TV, those different programs can show you that there's other things out there for you other than what you're seeing in your reality, if that makes sense. So maybe you may not know how to do a budget or something of that nature. Again, what do you know? You know that overspending is going to maybe put you in a bad financial situation based on what you saw maybe growing up. Or what do you know about doing drugs or hanging out with people who may not be a positive influence on you? At least if you know that, then you can maybe fall back on doing some of those things that you see that are not making a positive impact on you. So again, going back to the people who were never taught. Now that you know that you were never taught how to do something, now what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because I talked about it in the last episode or a few episodes before, nobody's coming to save us. So if you're the person who, when I talked about before, wants to be that person that says, grandpa so-and-so or grandmom so-and-so set us up to be in this great position in life, to be able to take trips and do all the nice things, because they sacrificed, because they set us up to win. What are you going to do about it? Because here's what I know. I know nobody goes through life and wants to fail. I do know that. But if you don't know how to win, what are you going to do about it? We're reading a book right now, The Quantum Leap Strategy. We're reading this book right now. It's a very, very thin book. You could probably read it in a day. We are reading this book in our entrepreneurship group, the Morning Meetup. And the beauty of this book is it's deconstructing your belief system. It's talking about mindset, and you'll hear a lot of people, wealthy people and people who are successful, talk about mindset, because mindset is very, very important. Because when you're on a journey to go somewhere, especially if it's new, if it's something that you've never done before, you, along with other people, are going to tell yourself, what am I doing? Like, why are you doing this? Especially when things get difficult. Why am I doing this? And your mindset has to be so focused on the goal that it doesn't matter what that little voice in your head is telling you, especially when things get difficult. So when you hear other people say, hey, why are you doing that? You're so focused on the goal. You're so focused on having that strong mindset that what they say, what that little voice is saying in your head, doesn't matter. But you have to get there. So if you're of the mindset right now that you're just starting something new, maybe it's budgeting, maybe it's investing, maybe it's starting a new business, maybe it's weight loss, whatever it is, you have to put things in place for yourself that when you're alone and you get those negative thoughts in your head, or when you're around your friends and you tell them what you're trying to do, and then they have negative comments or comments that are going contrary to what you're believing for, then you have to set things up. One of the things that the book talked about was writing out the end goal and writing out a couple like positive things to say to yourself. Like for me, sometimes when I have a negative thought in my head, I say to myself, good things are happening for me. Good things are happening for you. That's what I tell myself. God, I thank you that good things are happening for me. And even if chaos is going on around me, I still say that to myself, because I need especially if I'm alone, I need to say things positive that my belief is going to start lining up with my words. And I have to sow those things inside of myself in order for my belief system to kind of catch up. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you don't like where you are currently and you're trying to go somewhere, you're trying to be that pillar of your family, it's sometimes going to be a difficult road for you until your mindset is so stuck on getting to the goal that it doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter what's going on between your ears. It doesn't matter what somebody negative is saying to you. What's going on, family? This is Che Willis from Wealth is a Journey podcast. I don't know if you guys know, but I help families who are living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. If this is you or you know somebody, go to wealthisajourney.com to book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other for either budgeting, or if you're a beginner investor, again, you can book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other. Again, wealthisajourney.com, wealthisajourney.com. Let's get back to the episode. But you have to put steps in place to get there. Writing out the goal where you're trying to go is huge. And then reverse engineering how to get there. So for me, when I was trying to lose weight, what do I know? I know that eating Doritos and eating honey buns is not going to help me lose weight. So I need to pump my brakes on that. Drinking juice has a lot of sugar in it. What do I know? I know that sugar is the thing that's going to help pack on the pounds. So I need to slow down on that. And then once I start getting away from the sugary things, the lot of the carbs and things of that nature, then that's going to help me lose weight. So then when I start seeing myself losing weight, hey, I know that this works. And then once you know that something works, just keep doing it. It's that easy. You just got to keep doing it. So same thing with your money. If you don't like where you are financially, what do you know? Are you overspending? Are you, when your friends come around and say, hey, let's go shopping, are you quick to go? If your friends come to you and say, hey, let's go take this trip, are you quick to go? And you don't necessarily have the money to do it. Do you want to invest more? I don't know. How much debt do you have? What I know about investing is that if I have debt as well, the more debt that I have, the less money I have to invest. So the opposite of that is if I get rid of the debt, I can invest a lot more. So what do I know? Get rid of the debt. How do you do that? You set up a budget. You see where I'm going? So getting to where you want to go is a lot easier than one may think. But if you're starting out on this journey to get somewhere, or to be that pillar, or to be that person in your family who takes your family to the next level, then you write out the goal and then you reverse engineer it. You write down the steps and then you read the steps to yourself every day until it becomes like automatic that this is what we're doing. So when you get those negative thoughts in your head, you get those people saying that, those negative comments or the comments that are going contrary to what you believe, then it's nothing. It just rolls off your back. One of the things that really drives me, and I talked about it on our call this morning, is that two events happened to me that really, really messed me up. One of the things was my grandmother. She passed away. And not the fact that she passed away. She was a great lady. Man, it's my girl. But the thing was is that if I had the money to put her in a facility that she was comfortable in, that she enjoyed being at, and she wanted to stay home or whatever the case may be, that was fine. But even the level of care, if I could have paid for that to get her the level of care that I feel like she deserved, and don't get me wrong, the level of care that she received from the people that she received it from was fine. But that's your grandmom, right? Like if you could give her the Maybach of care, if that makes sense, then that's what I wanted to give her, right? And my dad as well. That was the second thing. The facility that he was in, I wanted to be able to give him the level of care or a nice facility. But the fact of the matter is I couldn't afford it. So what am I going to do about it? My goal is to make sure that we have enough put away that when I am elderly, my wife's able to go into a facility that is somewhere where we're going to get the level of care that I feel like we deserve. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's one of the drivers for me to make sure that what I know based on what I saw, that doesn't happen to us. So my son doesn't have to see that and want to be able to do something and can't. So one of the reasons why I go so hard about talking about budgeting, talk about investing, talking about mindset and those types of things is because of what I saw, because of what I know. And I know that nobody likes to see their family member or somebody that they really, really care about. You want to be able to do something for them and can't. So that's my driver. But what is yours? What are you trying to do? The new year's upon us. It's coming upon us now. And what are you going to do different? Some of the things that you didn't like that you saw, maybe growing up, some of the things that you feel like were roadblocks for you, but maybe they were really just roadblocks in your mind. And once you get past the fear of the unknown, then you realize that it's really not that bad. It's what I made up in my mind, which is the reason why I quit doing the thing that I know which was going to put me on another level. So if you desire to be the pillar in your family, or if you desire to go somewhere, or if you desire being somewhere different than you were in 2023, what are you going to do about it? If you need help getting somewhere, there's so many different resources. You got YouTube, you got I'm sure there's people in your community, in your church, somewhere very close to you, that you can get information from to set you on a path to get you at least started going to where you want to go. But you have to take a step. That's one of the things that you got to do. You got to take a step, because if you feel like the things is just going to happen to you, like life doesn't really work like that. Like it may happen for you, but how are you going to maintain it? Whatever that thing is. So hopefully that this kind of call to action podcast has helped somebody, because it sucks not being, for me anyway, it sucked not being able to give my family members what I felt like they deserved. And this is just me. So let's take action, y'all. We got to take action, and we got to get to it, because the way we grew up may be an excuse, or it may have been an excuse, but what are we going to do about it to change our situation? I talked about it in an episode before that you are the driver of your car, meaning your life. And if you want to go somewhere, put the car in drive and go, because nobody's coming to save us. So hopefully this has helped somebody. If you need help, seek the help that you need, but it's time to get to it. You're going to be old before you know it. I promise you that. So it's time to get to it, y'all. So hopefully this helps somebody. We will see you next week. Wealth is a journey. Let's go.